Apple IIe in the Inside Story Part 2. And you'll need to watch Part 1 if you haven't already. All right? I've got a level with you, Ms. Novice. We're up against Blackie Power Out, a master criminal who preys on computer novices. Really? What does this Blackie do? He shows up unexpectedly and pulls the power plug. Unless you're on your toes with your 2E, you'll be kissing some important info goodbye and saying hello to a lot of extra work. That's right! I have to retype everything I lost this morning. Hope it isn't too much. Now let's retrace this morning's events. Sure, first I put a startup disk in the disk drive and turned on the computer. When you do that, the microprocessor takes some instructions from ROM and then checks the disk drive for a disk. Watch. If there's a disk, the microprocessor looks for an operating system on it. The microprocessor needs the operating system to handle the flow of information between the disk and RAM, or random access memory, the temporary storage area. So, a copy of this operating system is put into RAM like this. Sometimes your disk also has a program on it, and that gets put into RAM next. You mean the program is on the disk, and that's why the 2E can be a game machine 1 minute and a word processor or whatever the next? You got it. It's the program that creates the personality of the computer. You were using a word processor this morning, weren't you? Yes, I was. Okay, so you had started up or booted the 2E. And you had RAM with the operating system and the word processing program loaded in. What did you do next? I started typing, and I kept it up for almost half an hour. Then the accident happened, or should I say, the crime. Let me show you what was going on when you were typing. Type your first name now and then press return. See, whatever you type appears on your screen and gets put into RAM. I get it. Nothing I've typed is permanent, yes, because I've just put it in RAM and not on the disk. Absolutely. Hey, you're good at this stuff. If you want to keep your info, you've got to send it from RAM to the disk. Each program will differ in the exact way you do this, but the principle's always the same. Let's see, how do I know where to put it on the disk? Good question. In fact, you don't have to worry about where. That's one of the jobs of the operating system. It's like this. All the stuff on the disk is kept in various files. A file can contain anything. An operating system, a program, a letter to Auntie Shift, whatever. But each file on a disk has to have its own unique file name. And when you save your info, you pick that file name. Say you choose the file name my.name. Here's what happens when you save. I see, I can make the file name anything I want. Within certain limits, yes, but it's a good idea to pick a name that describes the contents of the file. But the really important point is to save frequently, every 10 minutes or so. That's what you didn't do this morning, and Blackie caught you. The power went off and all your work disappeared from RAM. What happened? Is he here again? Nah, that was me. I just switched off the 2E myself. Watch what happens when I switch it back on. As I said, this is called starting up or booting the Apple IIe. And now I can get back the work I stored on the disk, can't I? You got it. You can load a copy of my name back into RAM. Again, the exact way you do this will be a little different with each program. But the idea is the same. Put a copy of your info you want to work on into the computer, like this. And there are the contents of my name in RAM. Now go ahead and change the name. Just press return when you're finished. I get it. I've changed the info in RAM, but the file on the disk is exactly as it was. Right. Now you can save again, and you've got a couple of possibilities. I can save the information as my name again, or Nancy. That's fine. If you do that, though, you'll write over the old file. You could also pick a new file name and keep the old version around. It's up to you. Just remember, saving things with the same file name will erase the old file. Well, Ms. Novice, I hope this little tour of the Apple IIe was helpful. Yes, Mr. Capslock, it's been a great help, and now I've got a little surprise for you. I couldn't believe my peepers. This novice woman reaches up and takes off her false nose, and then her wig. It was Rita Return underneath. Rita Return, what's happening? What are you doing here? Hi, Sherlock, just checking you out. I can't believe it. What's all this about Nancy Novice? You're one of the engineers at Apple who designed the IIe. Sure I am, but I'm not going to lunch with anyone who doesn't respect a novice. And you know what? You did fine. Now, let's get after this Blackie power-out jerk before he causes any more trouble. So that was the hot beginning of the power-out case. We finally got our man. But that's another story.